I dug the film. Krsy, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes with me. We only got a couple
Yeah, for
minutes.
sure. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Jump right in. This movie creeped me out. I kind of got a thing about being bitten and kind of, all that stuff that's
Hi.
going on in this movie. So who can I blame for the plot of this one? Can I blame you both?
I mean, so
Putting it
I guess
together?
ultimately I'm to blame for writing it and directing it, but it's certainly a shared concept. We have a daughter together, so we both share in this idea of doing anything you could to protect your kids, and how sometimes the outside world can feel, completely, a huge threat, which is obviously represented by our monster Agyar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his physical and psychological torture of Mindy is just terrible, just terrible.
How did you both come up with the look of Aguilar? Because at first I was like, is he a vampire? He kind of looks like Nosferatu a little bit.
It's
I didn't know what to make of him
Yeah,
exactly.
it's funny, never once did we ever mention the word vampire in creating this creature or this film, but since the few people that have seen it, the word vampire has come up a lot. It certainly Nosferatu though was a point of reference physically, because I always thought that Nosferatu is one of the scariest looking monsters
Yeah.
ever, on film. But it was really important to us to create a unique character where it wasn't just a monster. He's smart, he's articulate, he's manipulative. So matching that psychological torture to his physical bites was really important. So creating what he looked like was important too, because he had to be human enough for our actor to portray these scenes,
Mm.
but just not just strange enough to be monster like. Yeah. So we went through
Yeah.
a whole bunch of different versions and makeup tests, and also with his voice, we tried a lot of different accents, and we finally landed on what you hear in the movie. So yeah, it was a process.
Yeah, and I don't think he's a vampire. Vampires just drink blood. He eats flesh. That's not, I'm not mad at the vampire things. I'm a vampire fan, but I'm not sure that he's a vampire.
Well, Chrissy, how did you get ready for this role? I mean, it is a movie that is talking about motherhood and the strains of motherhood, the impact of motherhood. You being a mother yourself, how did you get prepared, or what was your input in the development of the character?
Yeah, I mean, I really kept my young daughter in the back of my head all the time. And just, being put in a position at all with something that looks like that, and not to mention that you're just having scenes with this scary thing in the dark, but it's physically biting you. It's very easy to get to a place where you are really uncomfortable and really afraid and really don't want to be touched anymore. But I
Yeah.
think beyond that, reading the script, I was like, there's really important messages in this film that I connected to. And I think beyond just the parenthood thing, which is a heavy part of this for me, it was also like, there's like, you could be struggling with addiction, you could have issues with abuse and an abusive relationship in your life. And I think there's just like a lot that I connected to with this character that I was just, it was important to show how heavy those things are, but also showing that she's trying to always hold it together and not let the rest of the world see it. And she's just doing a really bad job because she can't, she's
Mhm.
dying and she's terrified and she misses her daughter. And it's so sad. But at the same time, she's trying to not show that she's scared or angry or afraid. And I just, I just thought that was just such a strong characteristic. And so I just, I let myself sort of just fall into the character. And once I did that, we started out shooting with the monster right at the beginning. So
Oh yeah.
I was already in that headspace, and we shot the monster and the daughter stuff early on. So then by the time all these other characters came in and were sort of like attacking her and judging her, I was already in that headspace. And I was like, God, you've no idea what I've just went through the past 4 or 5 days. Like, how dare you? So it came out very naturally. I really lost myself in it. And it was really rewarding as an actor to play a character like this. That's this flawed, but also good at her core, and that people just couldn't see that.
This is kind of turning out to be a gruesome month for you between Little Bites and Terrifier 3. Are you gonna be okay? Are you gonna be all
I
right?
don't know. I mean, you might have to check back with me. It was, yeah, it's interesting watching these back. And we had stepped away from Little Bites for a minute because I edited the film. So I was like, I need to like have a breather, and we got to watch it at Fantastic Fest with an audience. And I was like, wow, this is like, I was like having all this like anxiety watching it. I was like, this is really heavy and really dark. And then same thing, I got to watch Terrifier 3 for the first time there. And I was like, the brutality and like, it's a lot. But it's like, they're very different films. It's funny, like Terrifier, like as far as you go, you like cheer it on. You're like, yeah, give it to him, Art, and then this movie, you're just like, oh God, please stop. So it was sort of really fun to do such different films, but both in the horror world.
Yeah, you're really rooting for Mindy to kind of overcome what she's going through in this. At least I know I was. Spider, Krsy, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk, man. I'd love to talk to you guys some more in the future
Yeah.
about what you guys got coming up. And good
Absolutely.
luck with Little Bites. Thank you.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.